This is the Wealthy Wednesday Show with your host, Luci McMonagle, a money manifestor, coach, and public speaker who's on a mission to helping you create more wealth in your life and business. This show will inspire and empower you with various topics and has expert guests. Let's welcome your host, Luci McMonagle.
Welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday Show. This is your host, Luci McMonagle. Today is a phenomenal day, and I'd like to tell you that I have one of my very favorite individuals on my show. She is phenomenal, and if you are interested in how you can find out and truly find out what your purpose is, what your real, authentic soul purpose came here to do, let me tell you, this lady, Jayne Sanders, is your girl. So let me tell you a little bit about her and where she came from and how did she come up with this incredible system, because it is actually scientific. It's teachable. It's repeatable and duplicatable. So this is based in science, not way woo-woo stuff out there. This is actual science. And Jayne Sanders is an advanced level 3 certified scientific hand analysis. She is one of only about 100 in the world. And today she's on the Wealthy Wednesday show for you. So her works help people discover their innate life purpose, their special gifts, to help them fulfill that purpose, and she helps you with the blind spots that is keeping you from fulfilling it. I've personally met her. I have had my own hand analysis, and it has completely rocked my world. Let me tell you, it's phenomenal. But let's give us a warm welcome for Jayne Sanders. Welcome to the show, Jayne.
Hi, Luci. I'm so excited to be here. It's good to see you, even though it isn't in purpose. It isn't in person.
Absolutely. Jayne, you are so incredible. You have an MBA, a master's business in administration. You were in the corporate world for 25 years. So for you, scientific and research and really understanding how things work has been a part of your corporate life and your practical life. And you also learned and discovered this phenomenal science of hand analysis, which was able to help you understand what your purpose was and able to help you help other people. So can you explain a little bit of what is the science behind the scientific hand analysis so people know what we're talking about?
You're all happy too, and I think it's funny. There's no accident there that I use the word purpose instead of person in my greeting to you. Isn't that funny?
That is.
I know. The world works in mysterious ways. So yeah, I was a corporate brat and really unhappy and was trying to find my purpose. And through my research, found scientific hand analysis. I did not create it. I just stumbled across it and it changed my life. The science part of it, Luci, is that the lines in your hands actually mimic the neural pathways in your brain.
Wow.
So everything in the hands means something. The gentleman that created it spent 40 years putting this system, this database together, analyzed over 15,000 pairs of hands. It's extraordinarily reliable and very accurate, enough so that Forbes wrote an article about me and my work.
Wow. And that is so amazing. And I personally have received your analysis, and it was, I thought I was kind of on the right direction. And after receiving my purpose, because you actually take what's the person's hands and you write the person's purpose, which other analysis people, they may or may not do. But you really bring it down to a little short, and knowing that I'm bringing speaking, communication to the world on mass communications is a part of on my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it tell you when you look at other people's hands, and how does this translate for our audience?
So the information, well, first of all, it's pretty much everything about who you are and why you're here. So it does reveal your innate life purpose, how you're meant to make a difference in the world, what legacy you're meant to leave. It's not a job description. That would be kind of cuckoo, right? Because, I mean, we want free will in how we express our purpose. But the guideline, it's like this, lighthouse that gives us inspiration and guidance and direction on how to fulfill ourselves and make that meaning, that difference that we're meant to make. And it also, hand analysis tells you the gifts you have, like the mass communication. That's a gift you have, Luci, that we're meant to use to help us fulfill that purpose. And it even goes further. It tells you the blind spots, the tripping points, where you get stuck, and not just what that looks like and feels like in your life, which is some type of life complication primarily, but it tells you what to do about it. So it's not just fascinating and accurate, it's actionable.
Yes. And me studying financial literacy and business administration, and you having an MBA, we like action. We
Yeah.
want to know what is our next step.
Well, here's the thing, Luci, you can get this amazing information, and yes, it will bring clarity and it will open some doors just because you've allowed the universe in and, you've taken a step. But if you put that, as you referred to, the report that I make, you get a 4-page summary report after a hand analysis with me. And that is unusual, you're right. But if you just poke that in a drawer, not much is going to change. For some people it does, but that's not that common. You've got to take action on the information, right?
Exactly. And for me, I started taking massive action on writing my book and getting my message out there to the world. And so stay tuned for 2017 for my book. So I've been.
How does it feel, Luci, to take that action? How does it feel?
It feels inspiring to really look at knowing what my gift markings are, knowing what's in my hand, and then doing something about it rather than just tossing it in the drawer. And like you mentioned earlier, is you can look at your actionable tasks, and you also look at the stuck points. And as I'm looking at my 4-page report, it really specifies, oh, that's why I had this stuck point and that stuck point. And it doesn't make the past any different because I've had a pretty traumatic upbringing. Mm-hmm. But what it does is it gives me the security and the knowingness that was preparing me for what I'm doing.
Yep. No, that's a really good point, Luci, because sometimes we earn these gifts through our life experience to give us the capacity, to give us that experience so that we can help others through these deep and challenging experiences. And, I just want to say that you're one of the few in the world who is on purpose. Most people are not. I would say people argue with me. They tell me it's more than this. I'm going to say it's at least 70%. People say that it's at least 80% of people aren't on purpose. They're not happy in their work. They don't feel fulfilled. They feel stuck. They feel like something's missing, like there's a hole in their chest. They're bored, frustrated, and it's because they're not on purpose. So you're already on purpose, but even then, getting that validation and confirmation and knowing what gifts you have, and like you said, you have the gift of mass communication, and when you take action on that intentionally, oh my gosh, it feels so good, and it just starts opening more doors, and it's inspiring and uplifting, and it just helps in myriad ways.
It does. And speaking about helping in myriad ways and stuff, who benefits from having a scientific hand analysis? Who would be the person who would benefit the most from having a report done from you?
That's a good question. So I kind of divide it into 5 groups. One is the person that I was before I found this and that I just described, somebody who is not happy in their work. They know they're supposed to be doing something else, but they don't know what. I spent years trying to figure that out myself, and had I to do it over again, I mean, you know, people say, well, I'll figure it out. Well, where are you going to be a year from now then? The same place you are now. We can't do everything ourselves. We need help. So that's group one, people who are unhappy in their work. Number two are people who love their work, but they're not making the money they want to make. I can see where they're getting stuck in their hands. Number three, people who are getting ready to retire and just want to make sure they leave the legacy that they're meant to leave. Make that difference that they've craved to make in the world. Fill that hole. Number four are people just very committed to personal growth and development, because this is the most accurate biometric personality tool on the planet. And it goes far deeper than just personality, because it does tell you purpose, blind spots, gifts, etc. And then the fifth group are people who are just really curious about what their hands have to tell them.
Wow. Well, so that covers a broad spectrum of individuals.
Yeah.
And can you give us some examples? Like you have an email series that you talk about like different lines and different parts of your hands. Can you give us some examples so maybe some people can kind of sort of understand, or maybe they can look at their hands if they're not driving. Right? Yeah. If you're driving, please do not hold your hands off the steering wheel. But just kind of like, wow, what could they just kind of basically look at just for a real quick snippet to kind of have some kind of understanding?
Well, something that everybody would have, because I started to say, oh, we can tell them about that mass communication gift marking, but it's not that common, so not very many people would have that. But if you want to look for it, anyway, it's on the tip of your pinky finger, either one, and it has to be at least 3 short vertical lines that go at least halfway up.
Oh.
Okay, and you may need to, like, you know, smooth out the skin on the tip of your pinky to see that, but that's called lines of genius. And the way that you're genius, if you have this, is in your ability to kind of like translate abstract concepts into understandable language. So it's like me talking about hand analysis. It's you helping people with financial stuff. Mm-hmm. And you need to, if you have that gift, you are required to write and speak for groups.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one little thing. Another would be the heart line, which is this uppermost sort of horizontal line in the hand. And it always starts under the pinky.
Yes.
And goes across, and where it ends tells us your general relationship style, how you communicate in relationship, how you express love and affection, how you prefer love and affection to be expressed to you. And there's 4 basic types. This would take, you know, a bit for me to explain, but right. Let me try to just do one word at a time.
Okay.
If your heart line ends underneath your middle finger or goes just past it a little bit, then it's called a hermit. And the key words with hermit are loyalty, freedom, trust issues, and alone time. Okay? If it goes all the way up to your middle finger, to your index finger, it has to go all the way up to the index finger or just inside it, it's called a big heart. And that's exactly what that means. It means you have a big heart and you really, really love helping people, and be careful about overgiving. If it goes pretty much straight across and gets underneath the index finger, then it's called a romantic idealist. And that means you're in your head a lot about your feelings, trying to figure them out all the time. You can be very considerate because you're thinking about it a lot. And then finally, there's one that has a dramatic curve and comes up to just inside the middle finger, and that's called the passionate. And that's exactly what that means. Passionate, enthusiastic. Passionate's what they want, and they want it now. And they'll figure out how to get it. And they model for other people how to ask for what you want. So that's the real top line. I could spend 15 or 20 minutes on each style.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you spent quite a long time on my report because there was so many different things in it that you touch upon. And that's just the real basic. Now, I wanted to clarify for my audience that this is a scientific hand analysis.
Mm-hmm.
This is not palmsery.
Mm-mm.
This is not fortune telling.
No prediction to it. No
right,
prediction.
there's no prediction to it. It just gives you a scientific analysis. And when I first discovered the scientific hand analysis, I really was more curious because I've had my hand read by palm readers, and they gave me general information and general stuff.
It can be helpful. Yeah.
It was helpful, but the difference is, to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jayne, is that the scientific hand analysis gives you specifics. It gives
Very
you
specific.
details. Very specific, yes. I mean, if you were looking at my report, which this is just one page,
Yeah.
it's very, very specific. And it also really helps you understand what direction to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so confused. Even though I'm living on purpose, I was confused about, well, I'm so multi-passionate. I love writing. I love communicating. I love my show. And I love doing this and this. And you were able to just nail it. Boom.
Well, you're so multifaceted because you have so many gift markings. So, you're to your community, Luci, I just want them to know that is extraordinarily rare. And it means you're very gifted, but then you also have the challenges of being so gifted. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, but you are extraordinarily gifted, and you're using, as I recall, the vast majority of your gifts. And when you don't, everything in the hands, by the way, has a master and a student path. Master path is, going with the flow, good stuff. Student path is the humanity side of us, where we get sidetracked with obstacles and fear and excuses and procrastination and resistance. And the student path can kick us in the butt.
Yes.
So, when you have more gift markings, you got more kicks in the butt.
Yes.
But here's a key. Knowing what those are is so empowering, because that's where you can take action. That's where you can take action. And I do want to share, too, what's really cool about this and very different than palmistry or palm reading is that I can do it remotely because I get the handprints. And anybody that gets one of these, I mail them a hand printing kit. They take their prints, mail them back to me, and then we get on a Zoom call just like this, where we're recording this. And although it's audio, although I think I'm going to start doing a video pretty soon, but regardless, you don't have to go anywhere. And I've got clients all over the country, all over Canada, even in Europe. So makes it really convenient.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for all of my international listeners, this isn't something that you have to be, oh, I wish I could. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, but I'm outside of the United States. She works remotely. All you need to do is have an address she can mail you the kit to and have internet connection so she can talk to you.
We can even do it on phone if you have to, but internet's better because I can record it more reliably.
Absolutely. So, can you tell me a little bit on you mentioned that you actually do this internationally through the internet. Do you actually see people in person?
Rarely, because it takes more of my time. I work out of my home, so it can inconvenience my husband. I have to make sure my house is clean, and I charge more because it does take more time. So people don't usually want to pay more, and people rarely ask me anyway. They're happy to not have to go anywhere.
Yes.
So it rarely comes up.
That makes
I just would rather not. I just don't want to, because I am very intuitive, and I'd rather not pick up energy that I don't need to pick up.
Mhm.
And even though hand analysis does not require intuition at all, anybody can learn it and do it. It makes me extra special good at it because I am intuitive, but you don't have to be.
Fabulous. And when individuals are looking at their hands, now you mentioned that we have the line across the top here, and it's on both hands. Is there any particular hand that they should look at, or should they look at both of them, or how does that work?
Excellent question. We look at both. Generally, right hand is what we present out to the world and business, outer stuff. Left hand is inner stuff and family and your own specific community, generally. But that's already, it's certainly, a lot of I keep jumping around. There's so much stuff. I just love talking about this. But the three big pieces of information that you get with a hand analysis are your life purpose,
Yes.
your life lesson, which is like the big kahuna student path in your hand, the number one thing that keeps people from living consistently on purpose,
Mhm.
and your life school, which is like your operating system. Those come from the system that's already been set up in the fingerprints. And they're called life school, life purpose, life lesson because they will never change. You have them for life. Everything else in the hands can change. So already within the system is the left-right meaning of each print. But the hand stuff, the stuff in the palm, that's where it depends on which hands it's in. The foundation of it will still be the same, but where it applies in your life will vary based on which hand it's in. Did that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Okay, good.
So the fingertips, which are developed when we're in the womb,
14, 16 weeks in utero.
15 weeks in utero, that is always the same throughout your life. And so that's why you call them life lessons or life school.
Or life purpose. You will have it your entire life. It will never change.
Right. So the tips never change, but the palm, inside the palm here, these change. And I've literally watched mine change throughout the last 20 years.
Well, because you're so aware, Luci, most people wouldn't recognize that. And I will tell you that the foundation of the three major lines, the heart line that we talked about a little bit, the head line, which starts under the index and goes across, and sometimes it goes straight across, sometimes it dives down, sometimes it's short, sometimes it's long, and everything means something. And then the lifeline, which is the major line that starts above the thumb and curves around that fleshy base of the thumb. The foundation of those won't necessarily change.
Correct.
Everything else can change. It may not, but it can. And that is not only the lines, but the shape of your hand, where your fingers are set on the palm, the relationship of the sections of the fingers to each other, where your thumb is set and how flexible it might be. All that can change. When I first did my first hand analysis, these two fingers were like curved toward each other, sort of like that. But look how they've straightened out now.
Oh my gosh.
And everything means something.
Oh, wow. That is very interesting.
Isn't it? Everything means something.
That is so exciting. And can you tell us, you have a fabulous gift for the individuals. Can you tell us a little bit about this free gift and how do they get a hold of it?
So free gift, yes. What they will get actually is a much more involved description of the heart lines that we talked about. And all you have to do is go to my website at precisionwisdom.com. My clients named my company, by the way, precisionwisdom.com, and opt in the upper right corner. Just put your first name, your email address, and you will immediately get access to a video that will describe in a little more detail, actually a lot more than what I just did, on each of those four heart lines, so that you can understand your relationship style a little more. And you may have one of each on the different hands, and you may have two on one hand. So just, pay attention to what you have, and you'll learn a lot about your relationship style, which, oh my goodness, that made such a difference in my marriage when I found out my relationship style and my husband's relationship style, and we understood each other so much better.
Wow. And that's really important. Just something as simple as that is understanding what is your relationship style and what's your partner's relationship style.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, you can communicate better because now you understand how he communicates, or she, if you're a male, and vice versa.
Exactly. And it's, then we understand that we're wired that way. And then the judgment helps go away. It's not like, oh, he's not intentionally being a jerk, or, she's not being difficult. It's just we're different and we're wired differently, and understanding that, oh my goodness, makes all the difference in the world. So like really quickly, I have hermit, so I really need a lot of alone time. I'm a mix of hermit and big heart, so I really need a lot of alone time, but I love helping people. And my husband is passionate. He's very passionate, romantic, just loves affection, and I'm like, I need my alone time. So you can see that conflict in our difference, but learning what that was so helpful.
Yes. Yes. Knowledge is power.
Big time.
Absolutely. And what my favorite saying is, which I came up with, is knowledge is power, but wisdom is knowing how to use that power.
Ooh, I like that.
And for your scientific hand analysis, which individuals can contact you on your website, which is precisionwisdom.com. And for those of you who would like that spelled out, it's PRECISION wisdom, WISDOM.com. So
there's a place there where it says talk with Jayne, and they can click on, after they opt in, they can click on talk with Jayne and schedule a free session with me, a little short session to talk about if a hand analysis would be right for them. If they go right to the hand analysis page and go to, yes, I want a hand analysis, they will pay too much. Talk to me first or email me through there, and I will give them a special price.
Wow. So definitely, if you go to her website, get a hold of her first. Tell Jayne Luci from the Wealthy Wednesday show referred you.
Yes.
You will get a special Wealthy Wednesday discount.
That's right. That's right. And you can email me at jayne@precisionwisdom.com. And there's a Y in Jayne, by the way, Jayne.
Correct. So it's Jayne, Jayne @precisionwisdom.com. So get a hold of her and let her know that you heard her on the Wealthy Wednesday show and you're interested to find out your purpose in life so that you're able to really start knowing if you're heading in the right direction or heading in the wrong direction. And you'll also understand, why do you keep hitting your head up against those walls?
Ow!
Yes. And I have hit my head up against so many walls, let me tell you, until I've really learned on what this scientific hand analysis can do. So Jayne, I'm so grateful you've been on the Wealthy Wednesday show. The time has gone by so incredibly fast.
Are we done already? Oh my goodness.
Yes, it's been fast, I know.
Been fun. Thank you so much, Luci.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to ask you one last question before we sign off. Is
Sure.
there anything else that you would like to leave our audience? Any other tidbits of information or anything?
Well, I just want to encourage them, whether it's me or another modality, whatever, just don't stay stuck. We try so hard. We think we're supposed to figure everything out ourselves, and we're just not meant to. We need to ask for help. So don't stay stuck. It's just not worth it. You'll be there in another 6 months, another year, another 2 years, and when you look at that from the investment standpoint, it's not worth it. Get the help.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as women leaders, women know that it's about the community and the nurturing of one another. That's so important. So get the help that you need. Get unstuck. Find the motivation, even whether it's with Jayne, whether it's with me, whether it's with somebody else. But just do something for you to invest in yourself so that you can start having a more fulfilled life.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So thank you for being on the Wealthy Wednesday show, Jayne. I am so excited. I'm so excited that you came on. And I know your schedule's really busy. You've got so many things going on, and you've taken time out to inform our audience on what exactly this modality is and how it can benefit them. And for my audience, you are truly why I create the Wealthy Wednesday every single week. I'm so honored and so blessed that you are listening to me every week, and you have found me on the many venues that the Wealthy Wednesday is on. Right now, we are now on 5 different channels. We're on iHeart, we're on iTunes, Blog Talk, YouTube, Sketcher, and one other. So if you are interested in getting onto the Wealthy Wednesday show, please go to my website at lucimcmonagle.com. That's LuciMcMonagle.com, and let me know you would like to be a guest. If you're interested in sponsoring the Wealthy Wednesday show, we are now accepting sponsors so that you can have your word broadcasted to over 20,000 individuals by listening to the Wealthy Wednesday show. So if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, we have openings available and we are accepting applications. So get a hold of me, Luci at lucimcmonagle.com, and let me know that you're interested in being a sponsor. So until next time, abundant blessings.
Thanks for listening to the Wealthy Wednesday show with Luci McMonagle. That's on every Wednesday. Join us next time for more inspiration and empowerment from various topics and expert guests. To personally contact Luci McMonagle, visit lucimcmonagle.com. That's lucimcmonagle.com. Until next time, many blessings.